Welcome to this week's episode of Confessions of a Fitness Professional. I'm your Fit Pro, Andrea Anderson, and I want to talk to you about becoming a fitness professional. So maybe this is something that you have flirted with. Maybe it's something you've been thinking about for a while. And if that's the case, I'm here to tell you there's no time like the present. Go ahead, sign up for that certification, read that manual, sign up for that fun fitness festival, weekend, conference, whatever it might be. This is your sign to go do the thing. I started in the fitness profession in 2009 when I got my license to teach Zumba. And I really only signed up for that registration because I was in danger of losing my beloved Zumba class. My instructor was moving far away and there wasn't another person that I really had connected with, although Zumba was quite the hype at that time. There were lots of options. I just never really thought about it. I had my routine, the place that I liked to go, the person I liked to go to, and it just worked out for me and everything. So I went and signed up to become an instructor so that I could continue having the class in the place that I wanted to have the class. That's probably like the wildest thing to do. Like why couldn't I just find another class to join? But I've always been a leader and I enjoy being in charge. So it was sort of like a natural progression to get me to that point. And there really wasn't anybody convincing me to do it. However, I had been taking Zumba for probably a little over a year. I worked my way from the back left corner to the front row. I knew the routines probably better than the instructor did at that point. I have those people in my class now and I love them, love it. I look over, I'm like, oh, what are we doing? Forgot that move, cool. So if that sort of sounds like you, even if nobody else has said, you should go become an instructor, take it upon yourself to do it. Or maybe you're getting nudged by a fitness professional. I have nudged many people. I've had many people from my classes go on to get some kind of a certification or a license, and that feels good. That's like you're showcasing that it's worth doing, that it's a job worth having, that it's a task worth taking over, and that feels really great. So I over the years, I actually went back and found from maybe 5 or 6, 7, 8 years ago, some advice that I was giving to new fitness professionals. So I wanted to kind of resurrect that today and then also add a few things that I've learned in my almost 15 years as a fitness professional. But I would be remiss, first of all, if you're watching this on YouTube, usually I like to do these outside, and I know that there's outside noises and things that kind of compete with my voice, but I'm in my fitness studio inside my house, and I have not really spent a lot of time in here lately. Isn't it crazy? Just not even a year ago, 2 years ago, this was my haven. I was in here all day, all night, creating, filming, responding to people, talking with people, hosting classes, so many virtual classes and challenges. And I was thinking about it. I, for the longest time, had a monthly virtual group challenge. And I haven't done that really this year. Maybe I had one in the winter. I might have had one in January or February. Cannot remember. It seems like forever ago, but it was something that I was constantly doing. And that whiteboard behind me was always full of notes and ideas and leg day, arm day, this one, that one, filming, kind of my track sheet for filming. And I haven't done it in a while. I'm thinking about maybe dusting things off and coming in here and doing another fitness challenge. So maybe that will be coming. We'll see. We'll see what I get up to. But today we're focusing on the fitness profession. Although, truthfully, that's a conversation worth having with a fitness professional. Are you comfortable doing this in any sort of scenario? Are you comfortable being in a gym environment, being outside, being in a studio, being indoors, being virtual, all of those different things? Because fitness is now wherever people can get it. I'm seeing less of the need, or I'm getting fewer requests for virtual fitness, but I think there is definitely still a need for it. It's just not something that my current client list is looking for. They're looking for the studio. They're looking for the solid, you know, place. Still love having all of my different events in various places. That's sort of a signature thing that I like to do, but we'll talk about all of that. So, all right, here we are. You're thinking about becoming a fitness professional. Welcome to the best and craziest job in the world. And yes, it's a real job. See episode 23 for that conversation. It is a real job. Do not let anybody tell you otherwise. It is a real job. All right, I'm going to start off with the toughest one. Embrace criticism. Embrace it. When I was starting out, I got a lot of it. I wasn't this person. I wasn't that person. That person was fitter than me. That person was stronger than me. That person was better than me. My classes were too slow. My music was weird. I made weird facial expressions, like anything, you name it. I got the criticism for it. And if I didn't have such a thick skin, I probably would have quit. And I've talked about quitting fitness. That's another episode. Cannot remember the number of that one. Maybe that was episode 21. Go check that one out. I probably would have quit more if I did not have a thick skin. So this is your just call to know people are going to feel a way about you. Their opinions have nothing to do with you. Keep going. No one instructor is better than others. And that took me a long time to figure out. I know there are awards for being the best or whatever, but truthfully, no one is better than anybody else. We all have a place in the world. There is room for you. There's room for you. And if you think, oh, the area is just so saturated, there's so many instructors, heck no. Because current instructors, we're not robots and we ebb and flow. I mean, some of us seem like robots, but I have seasons where I want to teach a lot and seasons where I don't want to teach hardly at all. There are gaps to fill. There are spaces for you. There is a class for you. There are clients that will respond so well to you. But remember that all of the opinions that you might be getting at the beginning may not be that great. And that's okay. That's okay. Those opinions have nothing to do with you. People just sometimes are fearful of change, right? They're fearful. And I think I fell into this trap too, where it seemed like a good idea to try to be like somebody else, to try to pull their mannerisms, to act like them, to use their music, to think like them, all of those things. But that gets exhausting. You might pull snippets of different fitness instructors and kind of make it your own. That's great. Borrow, borrow, borrow. Borrow all of those things. And maybe I have something that you like that I do that you were like, I'm going to borrow that. And that's great. Borrow it. But don't copy somebody 100% because they're going to change and you have to continue to keep up with that change. And it's exhausting trying to be something that you're just not. It's exhausting. So embrace the criticism, you know, realize that you can learn from it. I was nervous when I first started that I would be too much. I still have a lot of energy, but I had a lot of energy back then. And I kind of dumbed things down or watered them down just a little bit to meet what I thought was the demand. And that wasn't authentic to me, and that showed. So then I just embraced my crazy and let it all out. And I got a group of followers because of that crazy. So be yourself, but you know, embrace criticism. It's going to happen. Just know, like any other job you've ever had, you're going to get criticized. It's just the way it is. And, you know, don't worry too hard about it unless it's coming from your clients, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Actually, we'll talk about it right now. Listen to your students. Listen to your clients. They are literally the reason that you're doing what you're doing. You're there to make a great experience for them. You're there to help them. So, for example, I am extra and I love doing all of the burpees and tuck jumps and things like that in my high fitness class. But I have a couple of classes that just don't like those moves. So I could do them and make them feel badly and be the only one doing them, or I can meet them at their level. We get low in squats. We double up on squats. We do different movements. Notice how your clients are moving and respond to that energy. You want to help them get a little higher in energy. So you want to be a little more energetic than they are to help them realize what they're capable of. But you don't want to make them feel overwhelmed with movements that they're just not used to doing. So meet them at their level. Listen to your clients. They might not verbally say it to you. Some will. Oh, some will. I still remember, I will never forget this image. We had one movement in a Zumba class that I taught way back at the beginning of time at Ken Athletic, which is no longer a facility anymore. And she was making a face as we were doing a movement that was just like, rolling her eyes. It was a hideous face. It is like imprinted on my brain. And that woman has since come back to classes, and I don't think she realizes that I'm the same person, which is hysterical and a fun little thing for me to have in my little like, hee. And she has since been like, oh, you're amazing. And I'm like, do you know that I was like that same person that you were really rude to? Super funny, especially in a small community. Like, you cannot escape me. I will live longer than you. But anyway, listen to your students. I've learned so much by teaching live classes. Even though you can study regressions and progressions until your heart's content, you will never know what that really looks like until seeing it on people. And everybody moves differently. Everybody moves differently. So you gotta pay attention to what they're responding to, what they're not responding to. And over time, you'll know when to challenge them. And they'll meet you, but you have to know when to bring that challenge in. I got 7 things. That's 2. Whew, I'm already like, stick with me. My next tip is to train. I got stuck in the loop of, well, I'm teaching and it's kind of like my workout. I'm getting paid to like work out. And yeah, that works out for a little while until it doesn't. You will build so much endurance and strength over time that you'll have to continue to challenge yourself in different ways outside of class. And truthfully, like, it's just really nice to go to a class and be told what to do or follow a plan. You'll get new ideas from going to other classes or taking online challenges or virtual classes or workshops. You're gonna learn. So along with that training comes make sure you're continuing your education. Like, there's just nothing more important as a fitness professional than continuing your education. It keeps your classes safe. It keeps you up to date on all the latest and greatest things. And it keeps it fresh and fun for you. Like, you will get stale. It will happen. If you stick with one format forever and ever, you may love it. Maybe that's your thing. But I think 99% of us would get stale and totally hate it and maybe think about quitting fitness. I've seen it happen. People just overload with one particular format and they just, it's stale and it's not fun. So keep training, go above and beyond what you're doing. I mean, don't like burn yourself out and do 5 workouts a day. I've also done that. Not fun either, but it's good to keep abreast of all of the new knowledge and techniques and foundations and styles of class. Even if you're not going to teach a particular style, like, go check it out and see what the hype is about. I did that there was one class that I went to see what the hype was about, and I was like, oh, I could teach this. Ended up teaching it, liked it for like 5 months, then was like, I'm gonna sell all that equipment. I'm not doing that class anymore. So, but you never know. I mean, it was fun while it lasted, right? It was kind of a flash in the pan thing, although some people are still teaching it, which is crazy. But it's great for them. It works for them, and not everything will work for you, and that's okay. That's okay. The next one, show up. That sounds really weird to say as a professional, right? We're professionals. We show up, we're there, but it's so easy, even with just training, not even teaching a class, it's so easy to get into a pattern where you're like, I will teach next month. If you are looking to build something, you have to show up even when it's just 1 person, 2 people, 3 people. That's how you build. You won't have a name for yourself when you first start unless you were like, this was one good thing for me. I was kind of like the superstar in the class. So people like were used to kind of following me. That really helped set me up at first because people came because they knew me from class. But that will only take you so far. You start to build an identity and a brand for yourself as a fitness professional, and people will come to your class because they know what to expect. So do your best to be there. Now, I got caught in this trap of like thinking I had to teach every single Saturday until the end of time, and I really felt that way for a long time until I eventually gave that class up, although now I'm back teaching Saturdays. When and how did that happen? But you're not superhuman. You can't be there every single freaking week. You can't. Maybe at first you can, but you won't forever. So allow yourself to have breaks and you know, don't fret too much about it, but show up. If you're trying to build, you got to be consistent and you got to keep showing up, even if it's just a couple of people at first. When I started teaching at this new facility in Queen Anne's County, I didn't have very many people in my classes, but now they're filling up because over time it's like, oh, right, I've heard about this instructor, I've heard about this class, whatever. These are all mostly people that are new to me. So I'm kind of rebuilding my brand from square one, and you'll continue to do that. Make friends with other instructors. They are not your enemy. Some of them might pretend to be your enemy, and some of them might have egos the size of, you know, Texas, but you don't have to be friends with them, but make connections with them, build your network, get to know, you know, hey, I'd love to be on your sub list. As I was starting out, being a sub was huge. That's how I got new clients and how I got new locations. They're amazing and talented people as well. I'm part of a network called the Fit Biz Club, and that's instructors from all over the country, and we learn from each other and we grow with each other. And there are workshops that we can go to conferences, like be friendly with other instructors. I have one instructor that we do pretty frequent, like coffee and walk dates, just because it's good to keep each other, you know, in line with what's happening and bounce ideas off of them. And once you become a fitness instructor, even if you've been in that class for a long time and you know all the clients, all of a sudden your relationship with those clients has changed, right? Like you are the professional. So it's really not professional to be, you know, complaining or whining or doing those things with the clients in your class. But heck yes, you can do that with other fitness professionals. That's what they're there for, right? You got to commiserate together, champion each other, commiserate, find new ideas, all of those things. You gotta build a network of instructors. I tried, there's no way around it. No way around it. And it's really fun to team up for classes. Like, oh my gosh, I miss doing this. I feel like I haven't done this in a long time, but I used to get together with other instructors and we would have like a big Zumbathon or team teach a class. And gosh, that was just fun. You could just lean on each other. You didn't have to be 100% for the entire freaking class, especially when they were really hard. So, you know, allow yourself those opportunities to make connections and watch. It could be with somebody that otherwise you might not have anything else in common. I've had connections like that before where we probably wouldn't be friendly had we not had this fitness thing in common. I've got two more. Teaching is hard work. Again, I fell into that trap at first where I thought, hey, this is a workout that I'm getting paid to do. And yep, it was like that for a little while until it got hard. You will start to build this database of clients. You have all this new choreography and music and beats and counts to memorize. You're looking for variations for movements to make the class accessible to lots of people. You're keeping on top of your taxes. You're keeping on top of your paperwork, subs, being out of town, making sure the calendar is up to date, doing all of the marketing and press and all of those things. Like you become this one-stop shop. It is hard work. It is our job to try to make it look effortless and fun in a class, but it is hard work to get there. It's a lot of work. You want to make sure you're prepped. You don't want to show up to a class and make the playlist while you're there. Although I have absolutely done that before, and that might happen, and that's okay. You might get to a point where you become comfortable making the playlist on the way there. Has happened. But at first, you're going to practice. It's hard. It's hard work. There's no easy way around it. Does it get easier? Yeah. Parts of it get second nature, right? You just like brushing your teeth. Like, yeah, yes, got to do my taxes. That never gets easier. You just sort of learn to roll with it. And then they change things on us again. So it's super fun. But it's hard. It's hard work. You can totally do it. You can totally do it. But it ain't easy. Just know that. My last little bit of advice before I scare you off and you never become a fitness professional, which please don't do. Just do it. Just do it. Nothing is comparable to making one person's life better. You can't beat that. Even if your client list isn't 500 people, which it might not be. You might have the same 10 clients every week, but guess what? You are a highlight in their day, in their week, in their month. They know they can count on you. They know that you will show up, that you will deliver what you're expecting, that you will challenge them, that you'll listen to them, you're going to change lives. And that's not anything light. That's huge. That's huge. And you're improving their life one little class at a time. So know that. All right, those are my tips. I'm gonna put them in the notes on the podcast and also on the YouTube channel, and have fun, have fun. That's not on the list, but it's hard work, but it's fun. Show up and continue to be authentically you. All right, that's our episode for this week, and we'll chat again about other fitness professional confessions next week. Bye.